Good morning, traders. Paul here with GammaEdge. Today is Friday, the 17th of March. Let's get started. Pause your players, read to the very bottom. If you agree, hit that play button. Summary for today. It's a trigger day. It's a get in motion day. You should not be sitting on your hands. You should be looking at what is your plan to go long. We have, and I apologize in advance for this terminology. It's going to be foreign to most people unless you are a member of the Discord. But be advised, we have two setups today which historically have proven to be a pretty good edge. So you want to take a look at those. Despite the green, we do have red. The long-term market model is still in a downward trend. The ribbon, as we call it, is bearish. And a number of the indications here show that we're still many, many days away from any chance of any of these reverting. So just be aware of that. Market breadth, which we use a 52-week new high, new low breadth indicator, again, had the new lows outpacing the new highs yesterday, although it's stabilized. So that's good. This is a lagging indicator, but it is a confirmational indicator. If you don't have it, you should get it. 21-day charm landscape shows that the JPM short calls, there are about 41,000 of them sitting out there at the 40.65 strike. They will roll at the end of the month, are having a large influence on positive flows right now. And as we get closer and closer, that is going to be the case. So just be aware of that. Transitions are mixed. Transitions are the range between what we call minus trans, which is where the put domination stops, and above that there's P trans, which is where the call domination starts. And so the transitions are mixed. We're kind of sitting right in the middle. You'll see that on the following slides. This is a good foundation. We're up. We're significantly up from where we were in the week. But we got a lot of work to do here. We are not out of the woods. Do not want to give anybody the impression that this is a raging bull. There could be a lot of failure mechanisms that come into play here. We are concerned that we're vaporizing in the money calls at a fairly good clip here, short duration. And this is occurring in the tradable SPM or SPX PM complex. This is the one that trades the 0 DTEs, the 1 DTEs, etc. High volume, high turnover, and we're seeing a lot of short-term gamma turnover. So just be aware of that. We are not seeing out-of-the-money calls go in above us, and that is typically a marker for the speculators. If we don't see those OTM calls going in, we think the rally could be short-lived. Just be aware of that. 0 DTE, folks, we got a lot of them in the Discord. You should be mindful of a loss of the 3900 line. If we lose that SPX 3900, wait for confirmation down to that 3880 level. Below 3880, we're going to see a character change, and we could see some more downside pressure. We don't think we're getting down to 3880, but be prepared for it. We do live in the if-then scenarios here. If we do hold 3880 and above, you might be able to play this up to 3950. We think that's a tradable range. There'll be noise in there, but just be aware of that. If we break through that 3950 from below and we hold it from above, or we push rapidly through it with the dealer adjustments, and the folks in the Discord know what we're looking for there, we think you can play this up through to the 4,000 strike. We don't think we're getting above the 4,000 strike very much. We might see some sweeps up there, but we don't think much higher than 4,005 or 4010 just because of the structure that's overhead. The market model, as I said, get in motion. We have two signals that are trigger day signals. One of them is where the CT closes above the close of the prior day. It's very clean, very obvious here. This tests very, very well. You can read it here. The setup is called Tag Combo 8. CT close greater than the previous day close. Buy on the first day of the signal. Has a good expectation, and it's got a fairly good drawdown level, so make sure you read these numbers. The other one is where this short term, what we call the railroad track pattern, inverts. You can see it's been in the downtrend, and now it inverted yesterday, and now is in an uptrend. And it also, this is tag combo 10. This one tests very, very well too. A little bit better in the overall numbers. So you want to definitely be getting in motion and thinking about this, and on any weakness, probably get in there. Now, we don't know if the market's going to go up or down. We really don't. All we can do is play if-thens. That's exactly what we do. If it goes up, you know what your profit targets are, you know what your stop losses are. If it goes down, you know what your stop losses are, and you know possibly where to go from a reversal. Taking a look at the gamma levels, deltas are up on both the PM complex as well as the combo complex. Had a little bit of a rearrange in the PM complex with yesterday's actions. This 4065 is indicated as minus GEX. The reason for that is because we've got those JPM end of month short calls, which are just dominating all of the negative gammas. So short calls are like long puts, and hence you get the negative deltas and the gamma, etc., up at that 4065. If you go to the second strongest level, you get this, the 3800, and that is the same 3800 that's over here. So we're looking at the 4000 strike, the 3800 strike as being really the goalposts for today. Charm flows, we're looking at a 21-day here. And when you look at that 21 days, so here's that 4065 that's sitting out here. This is short call, right? Short call is going to give us this positive flow. And you can see combined with the end of month here, end of quarter, plus combined with what we have coming into next week, we've got some flows that are there. This is what's really driving the conversation. These are out of the money puts. As these vaporize, as the price remains above these things are going to decay, and they're going to contribute to positive charm flows. So if we sit on our hands and do absolutely nothing, we expect a pressure, a wind in our sails that could push us north. But of course, gamma and charm are second order effects, and they are absolutely swamped, dominated by the opening and closing of options. So when I change those deltas from a +1 to 0 or 0 to +1, whatever the case may be, things happen. All right, so that will swamp anything that you see here in charm as well as gamma. Taking a look at the PM settled complex. So transitions always in the blue here. To the downside, you can see that for the PM complex, the bears have gone away with the exception of this strike right here at 39.50. Other than that, we've got positive deltas. The bears have the out of the money speculative puts have vaporized, and that's a good thing. So downside 38.80 probably is the downside pressure point that we don't think we're going to go much below if we do test anything to the south. Now to the north, 4,000, and here's that 4065, which is the JPM. We are seeing good overhead structure, right? These are in the money put deltas, and normally they dominate, and they've been dominating. And if you haven't been looking at the morning call all week, this has all been red, and now it's starting to turn green. That is out of the money call speculation in a short-term gamma structure, right? So just be aware of that. That's important because that's part of the necessary but not sufficient conditions to move north. So we're getting the setups that are necessary to go north. This is good. Taking a look at the 0 DTE, you can see we still have those in the money puts. They're dominating the overhead conversation, but they're coming off. This is a good thing. We'd like to see in the money puts vaporizing. That opens up the door for the balance above us to start flipping as calls go in. So we need to see that. The bulls need to step up their game. They're not going to most likely step them up today, but whatever. 4,000 is the upper strike. This is going to continue to grow today. This will become a magnet if we do push north. If we push south, 3,900, 3,890 are the key areas. And as I said, 3,880 is what we're looking for a confirmation there. So just be aware of that. To the south, we're seeing a lot of calls come off. We don't necessarily like to see that. That could be problematic. We are also mindful of net call gamma coming off the complex today. Generally, that portends some weakness in the overall structure. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. 1 DTE, which is our crystal ball view into Monday's action. Again, we've got to the downside. We're pretty good shape across the weekend, so we don't think we're going to have a collapsing structure into today or into the weekend. We've got a lot of call deltas that are going to hold. They're going to continue to grow. That's going to become supportive. And then these puts that we're seeing here up here are coming off on Monday, and then we've got these calls which are vaporizing on Monday. We need to see the existing speculators step up their game and replace these for Monday. We'll see what happens. Transition 38.95, 39.50, kind of fat, kind of loose. Couple orange arrows here where we could see some overnight parking. We would not be surprised at a 39.30 or a 39.45. You can run the $E commands within the Discord, and you can watch these gamma levels and watch for those transitional areas where you're getting the positive gamma, the negative gamma on adjoining strikes. That can help inform where low exposure would occur into the weekend. Crystal ball view into next week. Again, a very fat, very wide transition is right in the middle. That's a safe zone more or less. We're looking at the 4,000 level. Here's this 40.50, 40.55, which would be another level. The nice thing about next week is you can see we are seeing a lot of call domination overhead. That's good. We like to see that. We want to see this grow. We want to see the put speculators the put holders get squashed, and we want to see more and more calls go in. So we are watching the short-term call open interest here. To the downside, 38.80, 38.85, there's that number again. It starts getting kind of loose and not very good below us. Remember, these are in the money calls for next week, and when we start seeing the puts there, we need to see these vaporize. We need to see these people feel, for the most part, that they're not going to get their money next week and remove these things, and that will continue to be a fuel to the north. Looking at the combo complex, mixed picture. So first of all, we closed right at the bottom of transition, not the best place. Now, flipping that around, we closed right at the delta zero. That's normal. That's good. We are at that transition point. So overhead, we need the call speculators to really step up their game here and start just squashing those in the money puts. Not seeing it. Not yet, at least. We'll note a couple positive things. So this is the JPM strike for the end of March. This is approximately 41,000 short calls. You can see, though, that they're being squashed down to about 16,000 net across the combo complex. Now, what does that mean? That means we have a lot of long calls that we're targeting on top of this and basically neutralizing this. If we can neutralize this, getting further north above this is a possibility within the next week or two. It just depends on what happens. Now, as that occurs, that charm flow or that charm pull from the 40.65 will also start decreasing. So just be aware of that. It becomes less and less of a player the more this gets squashed in place. The other thing that is a mixed picture with the combo is this. We are still dominated by put gamma right now, not call gamma. So even though we've got this to the south, which is really good, it's supportive, it means we probably will not have a collapse, but it does not mean we can't go down. And we have not made the full transition to a call-dominated structure. That means we're still likely to see some volatility. We're still likely to see some problems going north, and we really need the call speculators to step up here. A lot of it's going to be news-driven. Last slide. So 4,200 is the right goalpost, 3,800 is the left goalpost. Transition's a little ugly. You can see it's moved around. 39.65 really becomes an area that we're watching here. If we can get above that area, that would be great. And then the next one would be the 39.90, and then that opens the door to all of this short-term gamma that's up here. 40.50 is looking like that's the short-term target that people are really looking at here. And then, of course, here's that 40.65, which is the JPM strike. Below 39.50, and the deeper we get, we start seeing that character change. I'm not going to say we're going to get trapped below that 38.80 line, which would be right in here, but you can see that 38.90 and then 3900 sitting right here. We can't spend much time down there because if the bulls give up the ghost and the bears become emboldened and start building out these lines. Remember, now we're monotonic more or less, right? You can draw almost a straight line connecting these. That hasn't been the case. So why this is important is that if the bulls get squashed out of here and the bears start appearing, we're going to see these lines become disproportionate, and that will probably be the pull south. So we want to be prepared for something like that. So that's it for today. If you have questions, comments, interests, go to GammaEdge.us, upper right-hand corner, pricing tab. Click on that, fill out the blanks, pick your plan, 14-day free trial. Come on in, all the tools turned on. Happy to have you. We have a great group of traders, great educational just environment. Everyone's learning, and it's pretty powerful. Follow us on Twitter at GammaEdges with an S, and then here on YouTube, two things. First thing, if you like today's content, smash that like button. It gives me immediate feedback that I'm providing something to you that you find actionable. And then two, subscribe, because Taylor, myself, and Michael, now that he's back from the beach, post videos, and these videos can help you see what we're seeing and then apply this thing called Gamma, Delta, Charm, soon to be Vanna, etc., to your trading, and maybe be able to anticipate a little bit about what the market has to do around the core structures that drive the day-to-day noise. So with that, I will bid you farewell. Make it a great St. Paddy's Day. Hope to see you in the Discord, and hope that you have a great weekend. Take care, everyone.